The first three movies chosen for the BMFcast couldn't be more different. You've got an unfairly maligned classic in The Wicker Man, a bit of an overrated martial arts thing in The Story of Ricky, and then the third one, which is a big-budget snooze fest from Roland Emmerich known as 10,000 BC. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not a Roland Emmerich hater. I still enjoy Independence Day despite now realizing just how shitty of a movie it actually is, and I will defend The Day After Tomorrow with my last dying frozen breath as a legit good movie, despite the wolves and people being chased down hallways by cold air. But 10,000 BC looks like that kind of movie that comes out every couple of years where you look at the trailer and think, why would a studio greenlight that? You know it'll cost $100 trillion to make and no one will ever give a shit about it. It's like every time they remake Robin Hood or King Arthur or anything Gerard Butler is in. 10,000 BC is about a tribe of mighty woolly mammoth hunters who've become less successful in recent years because the environment is changing and mammoths aren't around as often as they were. The tribe mostly speaks in generic yet proper British accents, which is disconcerting because they all have names like Tick Tick and Moop. When Tick Tick, Moop, and the rest of the clan of the Cave Bear finally get the chance to hunt mammoths again, they seem woefully inept, like in a Three Stooges kind of way, but by sheer accident, one of them manages to slay a beast. Unfortunately, not long after, an evil tribe shows up and steals everyone that's worth a shit to go be slaves and build pyramids. The remaining hunters pursue their loved ones and then get caught up in the whole slavery thing. There's a handful of potential along the way, like when terror birds attack our heroes a la Jurassic Park raptors, and a bit with a saber-toothed tiger that you think will end up leading to something that never actually comes. Sadly, all these scenes feature less than stellar special effects, and the results now come across as laughable at times, and regrettable most others. Also, I would have put money on one of these pyramids opening up at the end and having the remaining villains escaping via spaceship, because this just seems like the kind of movie that should do that. But it doesn't, and that sucks too. Ultimately, the biggest problem with 10,000 BC is that it's boring. I just didn't care about any of it. I'm sure professors of ancient civilizations would have a field day tearing apart the historical inaccuracies, but I didn't even care enough to look at the goof section of the IMDb. As such, I'm giving it 3 bags. It's boring, and that's just about the worst thing a movie could be. But let's see what the guys thought. Back in a moment. So, episode 3 of the BMFcast starts with a parody of the Shaft theme that the guys performed themselves. I can't believe we never recycled it. Anyway, yeah, we were all kind of in agreement about 10,000 BC, although they said they at least had fun watching it together, which I myself did not get to experience because I was bored out of my dome. Harlow goes through a list of historical inaccuracies, and yes, teachers would be pissed at this thing. I don't really have an ending for this review because, really, quite frankly, I'm bored. So I'll just let you know that 10,000 BC has its own alternate ending where it turns out that the narrator, Omar Sharif, was actually telling the story of his younger self in this and shows up in the finale to wrap up the story in person.
And so it came to pass. The sign the Father sent to us and what was written in the stars came true.
Oh, Omar.